Abbie Davidson joining us on Running Point. Abbie, thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Thank you for having me.
You got it.
Just first and foremost, Abby, let's just talk about the season and the ride you've been on too. How special of a ride has it been? Just talk to me a little bit about some of your favorite memories along the way. I know you guys still have games ahead of you, but just a moment of reflection from this season so far.
Well, we came out last year with 4.4 seconds left in districts, and we just knew it was revenge time this year, and we just still have a lot of talent to work with on the team. I mean, we graduated a good amount of seniors, and I think I was the only returning starter from last year, so we just knew we had to put the work in, and it's just great. The chemistry we have on the team with the seniors and what they bring to the team is just awesome.
You talked about it. I mean, the way last year ended made this team so hungry, and I'm sure going into districts, you were thinking, okay, Perry's right there. Let's get Perry back. But then Perry didn't win their district semifinal game, and I was talking to some of your teammates, and it was kind of like a rejuvenation when you kind of got to shake off this whole idea of revenge against Perry. You got to focus on a new team in West Geauga. Did you feel that personally too? That it was like the revenge scheme against Perry was gone, and it was kind of a rejuvenated mindset when you guys just got to focus on West Geauga.
Well, actually, we even Coach Hamilton, like we had a scouting report and everything planned out on Perry. I mean, we had them winning it, and we were just ready just to go against them. But I mean, it was just the same like tension and just like hungriness to beat West Geauga as well and just go get it since it's been like 18 years, and we just knew like it was go time regardless of who the opponent was on the floor.
Talking about this year too and getting the fan support, how important do you think having that crowd has been there for you guys this season? I mean, we've seen the games, West Branch and Salem is always packed too, but just what has it meant getting that crowd support and fan support back for the Lady Quakers this season?
I mean, we've never really realized how much like we play an effect on like the community and how we bring them together, and like we just never really realized the love we actually have from them. And after just winning and going this far and like just kind of proving who we are and having them stand behind us, it's just like it's like a blessing. It just feels so good, and just to know that you're loved and have your community and family and loved ones behind you, it just feels great.
We were talking about this before you came on about the crowds and trying to block out crowd noise, but also feed off your own crowd. And you've played against a lot of hostile environments. I know West Branch is definitely a big crowd, and they bring their own student section as well. How do you, as a player personally, kind of block out the negative crowd noise, but also feed off the positive crowd noise and try to feed off your own fans' energy?
It's just a mindset of the game, I would say personally. When I'm out on the floor, I mean, it's me, my teammates, and the opponents. Like, I don't really worry about the crowd. I mean, that's for after the game. It's kind of like whatever happens, and I just know what I need to do, and my teammates know what we need to do just to get the job done. So, and we're used to those environments. I mean, like we have one of the biggest rivalries around, so like it's nothing like new to us. So we just know what we're doing, and I don't know. It's not really that hard because it's just as like a player of the game, it's just expected to be put in that position.
You talk about that too, and I mean, with rivalry games, not letting the crowd get in your head, that's obviously a big thing. And we know how big the mental aspect of the basketball is going into the playoffs too. I mean, you got to kind of be mentally sharp going into each and every game too. So, how do you kind of keep that level head too, and not let the moment get too big for you at any given time?
So just kind of on like simple as like the bus rides there, or like just even like today, like I mean, I had the ACT at school, but throughout the day at school, like watching, breaking down film, and just going through each play thinking, okay, how could I react to this situation if this were to happen? Or, just like thinking, planning the game out in my head before I get put in the position. And if I'm put in a position that like I'm not really expected to be put in, it's just like I know I have my teammates there, and like it's always like coach is there, like we can always react in a positive way to it.
We got to ask you about this day because, like you said, you were taking the ACTs. That's a big kind of moment in your student life, and it's obviously a big test. You have to put a lot of focus and studying into. So, what's it like being done with the ACT and now knowing the rest of the day it's all about this regional game tonight, and your whole mental focus can be right on basketball and right on what you have to do tonight to get a win?
Honestly, I actually wasn't too upset I had the ACT today, knowing like, I mean, the test is brutal and it's one of the worst things ever, but like knowing I have the rest of the day, just catch up on myself. I'm going through a little bit of knee problems again right now. So just to be able to rest that today and just elevate it and just have time to myself until we're going to go shoot around a little bit before the game. So around 4, knowing I have that time to myself and to prepare and just get my mindset right, it's good.
There's been some injuries on this team down the stretch of the season too, and sometimes that could be something that hinders a team or even takes them out completely. What have you kind of said to yourself through your own injury problems and through the other people on the team's injury problems too, to kind of just keep yourself motivated and keeping yourself coming to play 100% each game?
Well, with injuries, it's more of a mental part of the mindset. It's not really physical. I mean, I'm young, my body can put up with a lot, but it's just the mindset. It really takes away a lot of like your urgency to just give it your all just because it's like this is like dreadful. But through like my injury, I just had like a lot of support from my coaches and my family and my loved ones, and it's just like direct mindset. Like I was like, all right, day by day, like it's gonna get better. And the last game against West Geauga, I hurt my knee again first quarter, so it's been a rough couple last days, but it's just getting back to normal, and today it feels the best it's felt, so I'm ready to go.
With the knee injury, a lot of athletes that go through it say the hardest part about getting back is trusting it again,
Yeah.
and trusting your own ability, and trusting that you can make those cuts that you have to make, et cetera, et cetera. How hard was that for you to kind of get back to trusting your own body and trusting your own abilities and trusting that that knee is going to hold up?
Well, actually, it was very tough. So that's actually one of my biggest fears was going through a knee injury. And basketball is one of like the toughest sports on your knees because of jabs and cuts and stuff like that. So honestly, I went through therapy for around like 3 months. And I was coming back a little late to basketball. And then literally like this past month, I've just been begging coach. I'm like, coach, my knee feels great. Like I'm ready to go 100%. Like without this brace, I just want to go. Like I just want to play to the ability I can. And she just kept telling me, Abbie, like even with this brace on, like you're still unstoppable. Like nobody can guard you. And I think it was just like a sign from the man above, like just tweaking it the first quarter of West Geauga. Like it was just like, no, like you got to keep it on. Like you just got to keep going. But for me, like I just knew like I might as well put up with this instead of it going to like a worse, like tearing my ACL or something like that. So I just got to keep pushing and just get through it.
Me and Anthony were actually talking about this a little bit before you came on, Abbie. So I'll kind of extend the question to you and bring you into this conversation because it also happened again now with Cornell Fulton Northwest beating Akron St. Vincent St. Mary, and not the expected winner, what everyone thought, but it happened again where Perry didn't win. It was West Geauga. So what is it like being a player in that, to where you guys are kind of getting those scouting reports together for a team that you expect to win, and then everything kind of just shifts and it's someone else? How do you kind of shift that mindset and that focus so quickly before the next game?
Right. So every step of the way in the tournament, we have like the team and coach has been wrong about each team that's going to win. And honestly, it's just like we focus more on the team that we thought was going to win, but like we're still going to play the same way and play our game. Either any team we play, like we're not going to like shift our way of playing or who we are. We're just going to go out and play our game. So with Perry losing and we have us having to play West Geauga, it was just like, what do we have to change? Like players, I mean, defensively, like we knew there's different players every night you got to shut down. But like our offense and defensive game like doesn't change. Like if we go out and play the best of our ability every night, like we know we got it.
Getting some love from the comment section down here as I'll pop it up and getting some fan appreciation. This is it. There's no more preparation left to do, no more practices, one shoot around, and then it's a trip to Barberton. Talk about what it's going to be like, this atmosphere, what you're expecting from it, and how excited you are to kind of get into that gym and to kind of take it all in, because you have to take in this experience as best as you can.
Right. Everybody doesn't get to be in these shoes that we're going to be in tonight. I mean, it's definitely a blessing and it's not given to everybody, and we've had to work for this. So we just know tonight, like we're gonna go shoot around before we head to Barberton. We're gonna watch a little bit of the West Branch game, get focused, and just tune in on our game. And with the atmosphere, it's definitely gonna be different. I mean, coming from a little town, like it's not gonna be anything like we are used to. But I mean, we've always played in like atmospheres like West Branch and stuff. So I mean, it's going to be interesting, but I think we can handle it.
You've talked already about how much she's helped you a little bit through the injuries and through other stuff. Talk a little bit more about Coach Hamilton and what it's been like to be under her and what she's helped you grow in, not just as a basketball player, but as a person too.
Right. So one of Coach's biggest strengths to her players is like you're not only a player to her, like she treats you as like one of her own, like almost her child, like off the court. She wants to like know more about your life, more as like how you're doing off the court as like a human, and make sure we're always just being like the best versions of ourselves. And that's just something that she like enforces, and she's very good at that.
Who are some of your biggest role models inside and outside the sport of basketball that you'd like to shout out?
Well, I mean, definitely I come from a big family, so definitely like my brother Mitchell, he was a good athlete in high school and he now plays at YSU for football. Just like with the mindset of game and the work ethic, he always is like very like mindful towards me. Like he always is making sure like I'm doing the best and just including my teammates and stuff like that. And then my dad, he's just a very like good guy, and he's just laid back, and he just always wants you to be classy. I mean, always enforces for you to be the bigger person on the court and off the court. So definitely those two.
Big family. That's an understatement. There are more Davidsons on this roster than we know how to deal with. When you look at the last thing we want to talk to you about is just your support system. We always want to give the players the time to shout out their support system, people that are always there for them and the people that they couldn't get through this journey without. So without further ado, I want to give you that time.
Definitely my family. I mean, even when I was going through with my knee and everything, like they were always like, your time's going to come. And they were just standing behind me and pushing me, making sure I was doing what I need to do to like heal. Definitely Coach Hamilton, like not even basketball related stuff. I know I can go to her and she'll give me the best advice and make sure I'm always just being the best version of myself. I mean, I'm not really a senior, but she forces me to like be a leader at any age. She also always says how like it doesn't matter your age or where you are at in life, there's always time to step up and be a leader. So definitely Coach Hamilton and my family. I mean, they've always pushed me to be the best.
Abbie, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate it. Wish you the best of luck tonight, and we look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.